Hello, a very good evening to you. Welcome back to the Crucible Theatre in Sheffield. Believe it or not, day 7 of the 2017 Betfred World Snooker Championship. We've already seen some fantastic snooker today with 2 Crucible heavyweights.
If this session is anything like the first session, then we're in for a treat. And there you go. Ronnie never got a chance in that frame. It was all about Sean Murphy. Oh, it just caught the near jaw. Sean's not had much of a chance in this one. It's no gimme, that's for sure. Went in nevertheless. Thought it was worth the risk, and he got it and played it beautifully. Oh, right in the heart of the pocket. If he misses a kiss on the yellow, this is perfect. Have a look at this. Needs a bounce.
20.
Superb. In goes the black. He leads Sean Murphy 9 frames to 3.
Played it really well.
He's got the frame on the board. 9-4, Ronnie O'Sullivan. So first chance for Sean. Great shots. And here's the comeback. Gonna get stronger. He still trails by 4.
Wow. No apology for the fluke.
2.
Oh, he's missed it. It's really unforgivable.
Sean Murphy 2.
In goes the black. And Ronnie O'Sullivan makes a marvellous clearance and keeps his 4-frame advantage going into the 3rd session tomorrow morning. 10-6.
There was a very interesting shake of the head there from Ronnie as he exited the Crucible Theatre. Steve Davis is alongside me tonight here on the red button. Steve, why the shake of the head, do you think?
Well, I think he was under it there towards the end of that session. I mean, at 9-3, it looked like Ronnie O'Sullivan was coasting in. Then the interval of the second session happened. Sean Murphy didn't exactly throw caution to the wind, but he relaxed a bit and started playing his game. And all of a sudden, Ronnie sort of froze a bit, stalled a bit. And all of a sudden, by the end of the session, it looked very much like Sean Murphy could have won that last frame. But that miss with the green was massive. And the next 5 balls by Ronnie O'Sullivan were very important. So he's kept that 4-frame gap from the first session. So he'll be feeling a lot more relieved from that. And it's still all to do for Sean Murphy.
Yeah, forgive me for the blunt question, but is Sean Murphy facing an exit?
I think he is, unless Ronnie O'Sullivan underperforms and Sean can keep the pressure on. But it's tough because Ronnie O'Sullivan is a very good front runner, apart from being a great player all round.
If Ronnie O'Sullivan does beat Sean Murphy, do you think this victory will be sweeter, given what's gone on the back pages of the newspapers?
I don't think Ronnie's particularly bothered about all that. I don't think that's really that much of it. I think maybe a storm in a teacup in many ways. Ronnie O'Sullivan's here to do a job. And what I've seen from Ronnie O'Sullivan after that first match against Gary Wilkinson, giving the big fist after the match, and at moments in the match against Sean Murphy, he's been gritted in determination in his teeth. I think he's here to do a job, win the tournament.
Good man, Steve. Thank you very much indeed. A couple of other scores to bring you right up to date with. And Mark Allen is in superb form here at the Crucible this year. He leads Scotland's 4-time world champion John Higgins. That match resumes tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock in the morning. You can see that with us on the BBC. All China affair on table 1 this morning. Ding Junhui taking a 4-frame lead over good friend Liang Wenbo. Ding won the first 2 frames, knocking in a break of 111 in the first. They resume tonight, and we'll keep you right up to date with that tonight here on the red button. And another big match. Our live match for you tonight sees the 2015 world champion Stuart Bingham fighting to stay in the championship. He won the final 3 frames of the first session against Kyron Wilson to get the score back to 5-3 and started today as he finished. Wilson bounced back with a century and the next to restore his 2-frame advantage at 6-4. And the two men traded frames for the rest of the session. Wilson pinched the 12th on the black to go 7-5. But he was never able to shake Bingham off in the 15th. The world champion in 2015 again pulled it back to a single frame, 8-7. And the final frame of the session saw Bingham looking favourite to draw level with a 55-point lead, but Wilson showed his class with a 37 clearance to win it on the black, 9-7 at the end, and plenty of life left in this one. Now, I mentioned this to you, Steve, yesterday when we were in studio. This young man has got the potential to be a world champion, say a lot of you, but also I've detected something about Stuart Bingham. Backstage, usually very chatty, very relaxed. Saw him again today. Looks very, very tense, Steve.
Yeah, he's not going to give up this fight. OK, he threw away that last frame and Kyron Wilson stole it with needing snookers, but Stuart Bingham's not going to be giving up without a fight. He's a great player, world champion.
Yep, here he is. OK, you're in for a Friday night feast of live snooker. Let's say good evening to Rob Walker.
Thanks, Jason. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What a superb day of snooker we've already enjoyed here at the Betfred World Championships. And tonight, at last, we find out the identity of our first qualifier for the quarterfinals. A world-class weekend of live sport starts right here, right now, in Sheffield. Please welcome a player making his first appearance in the second round since that debut 9 years ago. Here after an impressive win over Stuart Carrington. He won his first ranking title early this season at the English Open. He will be determined to reduce this deficit. We call him China's firecracker, Liang Wenbo. And his opponent, a man who has clearly inspired a whole generation of players back home. Winner of 12 ranking titles in all and a brilliant run to the final here 12 months ago. He showed his class this morning, 2 centuries helping him to this 4-frame advantage. The national hero in China, enter the dragon, Ding Junhui! And on table 2, please welcome one of the sport's rising stars. He is now 4 frames away from a second successive quarter-final at the Crucible. Shanghai Masters winner in 15, finalist at the Indian Open earlier this season, now established amongst the game's elite. We call him the Warrior, Kyron Wilson. And his opponent, bidding for a 3rd Crucible quarter-final. From 5-0 down, he has drawn on decades of experience to stay in touch here. A spectacular run to the world title 2 years ago, and he won the Welsh in brilliant style in February. They call him the Bull Run. They call him Stuart Bingham.
there is a wonderful noise here in the Crucible Theatre this evening. If you want Ding Junhui against Liang Wenbo, that's available on the BBC Sport website and BBC Sport app. Willie Thorne and John Parrott for that one. But here, live on the red button, a very good evening to Dennis Taylor and Stephen Hendry.
Yes, a very good evening, Jason. A very good evening to everyone watching.
Thank you. Frame 17, Stuart Bingham to break.
Stuart Bingham is going to get this first frame of this final session underway. For all the world, it looked as if he was going to be level at 8-all, and what a comeback that would have been from losing the first 5 frames. But he knows that he's got the experience to possibly get him through this match. But he's up against the brilliant Kyron Wilson. Terrific cueist, this man. And if the white holds up short enough, it's an early chance. I really do like watching him playing, Stephen. I like his cue action.
Yeah, he plays a very good aggressive game, which I think you have to play these days to be successful. I think you get anywhere being defensive and waiting for opportunities to come. You got to create them yourself. There's a lovely position shot there. Very important first frame of this session. More so, obviously, for Bingham. Really has to win this first mini session of 4 frames, 3-1, Stuart, I feel.
5.
Yeah, I mean, you're trying to win every single
13.
frame, but when you've got a 2-frame advantage, you know if you can share the little mini sessions, then you're certainly going to get over the line. Just played for the loose red, but I don't think he's come far enough.
20.
Thought he might have gone into the reds there, Stephen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether he's even playing a cannon in the red that's a little bit to the left of the bunch. To leave one to the right corner, but yeah, I agree with you, Dennis. He had a decent angle there. And it's always good to go into the bunch of reds when there is 1 or 2 loose ones.
He's going to have to bend this. He's playing it with loads of side to just swing it round the pink. This is not easy. Oh, what a shot that was, by the way. And he got a kick. So it was a bit special. That was a great picture of him just swerving it slightly around the pink.
I actually don't think he was going to pot that without the kick. When you seen the cue ball just approaching the red, I think it was definitely sending it to the left of the pocket. So, huge bit of fortune there. No, he's got the cannon this time. Good shot. And if he plays this red at the bottom of the bunch, he's going to be opening up everything here.
28.
Good start, this.
Yeah. Oh, yes, see it.
Looking very snazzy this evening. Nice suit with the back of his waistcoat and a matching stripe down the trousers. There you see it.
I can see you in a pair of them, Dennis.
29.
Definitely.
Meanwhile, trying to come back off the reds, it's always difficult to judge it, and he's left himself awkward. But what a test of his cue action here, because he's got to play it with plenty of pace if he's going to get to a red. Oh, that's good cueing. He deserves to be on a red. That's a terrific shot, Stephen.
Yep, I haven't seen any of the first two sessions of this match, but I'm going to stick my neck out and say that's one of the best shots he's played in the match. That was a fantastic shot.
Yes, he needed a snooker in the last frame of the second session, and he managed to get it and got a free ball and went on to pinch that frame, which gave him the 2-frame advantage. He's got another heavy contact there.
Yeah, the cue ball just stopped in its tracks there. It landed short in the blue, had a little careless shot.
42.
After playing such a great shot from the black.
I think he can just screw across the pink there. He might be able to run through, but that shot is on, I think. No, he could run through. No problem. He was always going to be on pink or black.
$49. $50.
Just coming around to have a look at the angle for that red to the middle pocket and having a look for that one at the back, so he can put the white in a position here where he could have a choice of reds. And that's very clever. If he's gone too far for the one at the back of the little bunch of 5, he's got the other one to the middle pocket. He'd prefer the one at the back of the reds, but I think he's just gone a little too far for that.
$56.
I know, you see they've both potted 239 balls, but it's the scoreline that counts. And he's got an angle here to push a couple of reds into play. I don't think this one cuts back, and he's not safe yet in this opening frame of this session.
62.
Can't get to that one. And this is quite a thin snick if he takes the pot on, but might just be able to pull it off.
$63.
Still a possible 67 on the table as we show you the cut back again. So if he pots the brown, he's going to need one more red to secure a 3-frame advantage. And he doesn't.
Callum Wilson, 63.
So a bit of a chance for Stuart Bingham. Lots of noise from the other table. There's in between frames.
One.
I'll tell Tell you what, Stephen, this could be a huge turning point in this match. Stewart should have won the last frame to level at 8-all. If he could pinch this and get back to just one behind, but he's got an awful lot of work to do. Oh, he's overdone it. That's very disappointing. He concentrated on the cannon, and look what he'd done with the reds. He'd opened them up perfectly. Maybe just took his eye off the black. I think he's potted 40 blacks off the spot, and that's the first one he's missed. So barring snookers, Karen Wilson is opening up a 3-frame advantage. He did try to double that because the black was over the pocket. At the moment, Stewart needs 3 reds, 3 blacks, and then 1 snooker to tie. Anywhere over in the side of the table where the black's over the pocket is a safe position. This one would be nice to slot in.
He wouldn't be taking this on, but the red is actually touching the cushion, which makes the pot that bit easier. That'll be the frame.
Frame conceded. Frame Karen Wilson.
So Stuart Bingham does concede. Karen Wilson has won a very important first frame of this third session. Stretches his lead to 10 frames to 7.
Welcome to our live Red Button studio, by the way. If you want to get in touch with us this evening, we'd love to have your comments about our studio, about Steve Davis's outfit this evening. Anything you want, really. Any questions you have for Steve Davis, get in touch via the hashtag BBC Snooker. Looking very smart today, Steve, I have to say.
Well,
very sharp
likewise. The self-congratulating pats on the back are just all over the place.
Shall we do some snooker chat?
Yeah.
Or should we talk about other things? Okay. Well, anyway, listen, what makes Karen Wilson so special then? Why are so many of you pundits and ex-players talking about this fella being a champion one day?
Yeah, I think the all-round game he's got and the grit and determination he's brought to certainly the World Championship. And I think we probably value performances at the Crucible stronger than we do in any other tournament. So therefore, a young player who starts performing to a higher level than others sticks out head and shoulders above the rest. And so that's therefore Anthony McGill, last couple of years, good at, and Karen Wilson. They're the two from the UK, certainly, that we've gone, well, they're looking like they're improving and they're not stopping improving.
It's one thing, I suppose, to perform at the Crucible and say, OK, he doesn't show any signs of any nerves, but you have to bring your game to the venue as well. What is it about his all-round game that marks him out as a future champion?
Well, I think probably maturity at a younger age. Strong potter, good positional player, aggressive, attacking amongst the balls, and seems to have a good defensive game. I mean, I think, you know, for this particular event, being an all-rounder is a premium.
Stuart Bingham on the rack here, isn't he?
Yeah, he is, yeah.
OK, back to the chaps.
Well, he won't be happy with that break-off. That's one of the worst break-off shots he's made in this match. That's the last thing you want to do when you open up a 3-frame advantage, is to give your opponent an early chance.
One.
And the reds have opened nicely, so one little cannon here through the gap of the 2 reds just to nudge the other one. Doesn't have to hit this hard, just a gentle little shot will do it. And he's off and running.
Stuart Bingham is too experienced and been world champion himself not that long ago to, he won't be pressing the panic button yet. There's a long way to go.
No.
It needs to start winning frames and not just one at a time. It needs to start reeling off 2 or 3 frames at a time.
Well, I'm not sure about that. He just got far too much action into the cue ball there. He's now going to have to take the one into the right corner. He was playing for the one closest to the black, but well, look how far he was out with that.
$24. $25.
You'll be going into the bunch of reds here, holding for the one that's just above the black to left corner. Yeah, struck that beautifully.
$32.
I'd love to win this frame in one visit. In frames, scrappy frames is okay, but nothing sends a message to your opponent
33.
that you're still very much in this match than winning in the one visit.
Yeah, especially when your opponent has made a very poor break-off shot. As I mentioned at the time, that was the worst break-off he's made in this match. Well, he thought he didn't have to go into them at any pace there, but it hasn't worked out for him, Stephen.
No, he needs to go through that gap. That's what he's playing for, to the right of the pink. He got into the cue ball too much. That's why he played it at quite a soft pace, because he wouldn't have needed to hit it any harder if he'd got the gap. So that was a bad shot. You could say unlucky not to be in anything, but he didn't play it very well.
Clever double there, because look where he left the cue ball. He wasn't leaving anything on.
He'd love to cannon the pink here. That would just open everything up.
46. $47.
A little bit straight on the blue, but it doesn't matter because of the red over the left corner pocket. You can just drop the blue in and leave that. And you can just screw back and leave one in the other corner. Or he could hold the spot. And that
52.
was quite clever, because now it's much easier to get position with the blue on the black spot.
53.
He's starting to look good, Stuart Bingham, and as I say, when you've been world champion, it stands you in good stead when the question's been asked. He's 3 frames behind, and this is a good response.
$58. $59. $65.
But this here is just
66.
proving how important it is to make a good break-off shot, especially with the standard these days. That's the frame secure. This was a shocker of a break-off. Hit it far too
71.
thick and brought the red down, never got the white over anywhere near the cushion.
$72. $78. $79.
We've had 35 centuries so far in this year's Betfred World Championship. Stuart's only had 1, and this could be a very timely one indeed.
86.
41 he's made this season, so he's been playing much better this year than when he was
87.
playing, defending after he won the world title. I think he put so much into the commitment, Steve, and his game suffered a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah, it definitely seemed like a weight around his shoulders. Not in
94.
general, but whenever he got onto the snooker table,
95.
he didn't look the same player.
Absolutely superb. A very timely century break
102.
from the very likable Stuart Bingham.
103. 110.
136 is the highest so
112.
far this year. There's a possible 137 on. I don't think it'll win the high break prize of £10,000. But it's certainly going to
115.
supersede Ding Jean Hui's 136.
119. 124.
The highest break last year was
130.
made by Karen Wilson, a break of 143. So in goes the black, and that's the highest break this year. Stuart Bingham got one chance from a poor break-off shot, and he cleared the table. He's back just 2 behind. It's 10-8.
Highest break of the championship so far. Well done, Stuart Bingham. He is right in this. Remember to keep your comments and your questions coming. Use the hashtag BBC Snooker. Brilliant stuff from Bingham.
Yeah, and I say it's really nice to see a champion up against it producing because whilst we all like to see people under pressure and snooker players rub their hands when somebody else is cracking up, actually, really, it's a horrible feeling out there. We all know what it feels like to be under it. And so, therefore, when somebody like Stuart comes back, yeah, good on him, and let's see what the other guy's made of, and let's have a fight of it.
Stephen mentioned in commentary there that perhaps winning the World Championship proved to be a bit of a weight on his shoulders. Agree?
Well, yes, because actually I asked him in doing that taxi to the driving thing about how long it took him to get over that. And I think he actually said he felt it took him a hell of a lot longer than perhaps people thought, even perhaps a year to get over that. So he was committed all the next season to playing everything again. So I wouldn't say burnt out, but I think he was playing a lot of snooker, and it probably started to become an expectation that he should deliver as world champion, started going wrong, and therefore you're back digging a hole for yourself. So I think it's taken him a little bit longer than perhaps it would have done if he'd won the tournament 2 times.
Some very nice questions coming in as well. Let's do one from George as we begin the 3rd frame of the evening. He says, question for Steve, Jason. Is there a difference in a player's preparation for a match played over 3 days instead of 2 days, Steve?
Yes, there sort of is, because that 2 sessions in 1 day is quite tough on the body. Not only from you have to wake up very early in the morning, have some breakfast before like 8 o'clock, and then you've got to know what you're going to do in the afternoon before your evening session unfolds. So you've got the eating problem, you've got to get yourself ready twice in the day. So I think the 3-session match, which is what Ronnie O'Sullivan's playing currently, is probably the easier way, as long as you've got the patience for it.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you, George, for your question. Keep them coming. Use the hashtag BBC Snooker.
Excellent long pot.
Well,
What sort of angle has he got on the brown? I think it's almost dead straight.
Karen Wilson. Well,
Yeah, it's 3 break-offs tonight and 3 balls potted from all 3. These players have got to tighten it up a bit. Yeah, I think a lot of players, the shot that Kyron Wilson just played, roll up in the yellow, a lot of players are very quick to play that shot, but you see what's happened. He hasn't really gained that much of an advantage. I'd much rather put the cue ball tight in the baulk cushion, forcing Stewart to actually play a shot. It's different when the reds are split everywhere, then yeah, play the snooker, but it's very rare the top players don't get out of those snookers without leaving anything.
Very little safety in the first 2 frames this evening, but that's part of the game that you've got to perfect. Just to create an opening and force your opponent into making a mistake. That's a beauty. He's blocked off the escape route down the right side of the table. Well, that's a stat. Kyron's safety success rate higher than Stuart Bingham's. Good all-round game. I never thought he'd play the snooker behind the blue. Well, his nickname, when he's introduced, is Ball Run Bingham. I used to think it was because he potted so many balls. Apparently it's because of the run of the ball that he gets at times. I'll tell you what, you won't see many better little bits of good fortune than that. He holds his hand up, but I'll tell you, when you come out of your seat, it doesn't make you feel any better. I don't know if he can get twice across and just land on the reds to keep it safe. That's what he's tried. But he hasn't got it safe. I think he can just drop this in. The black's not going to be all that easy, but if he's dead straight on the red in past the black, and he is, he's just looking to see what sort of a black he would leave himself.
Well,
It's made it awkward. In fact, he might refuse the black now because he's having to bridge over the other red.
yellow ball. Stuart Bingham, 1.
Just while we're having this little bout of safety, I'd like to wish my granddaughter, Annie Reader, it's her birthday. She's 14 today. And a limo picked 10 of them up from school, and they're putting a tent up in the back garden. So have a happy birthday, Annie.
Good shot. Nice pot, and steered the cue ball very nicely through the gap. The 2 reds in the pink spot. I think the right one of those is available to the right corner. You can get on that from either green or brown. Well, he didn't get much side on the cue ball. I thought he would have hit the cue ball much more into the middle of the table. It's almost as if he was making sure the pot there. This is missable now, this red. Yep. Very poor shot off the brown. Very negative shot.
5.
That's the first time I've seen that silky cue action. He put a quick one in there. We have another look at that. You might just be able to see this one. Can't see it from that overhead shot. It was the body that moved a little bit. Just have a look at his body here after he delivers the cue. Just watch this. Yeah, just a bit of movement there that caused that.
Seven. Eight.
Well, he's left that very awkward. Didn't quite cannon the red as he intended. He can still plot the pink, but he's quite good. He's got quite large hands, Stuart, and it helps when you're bridging over a ball like that. Don't know if he can find that gap, but he's fully stretched. He'd have to pot this and just a gap between the reds there above the black spot area, but I don't know if he can get into that gap and swing it around. No, he didn't find the gap. He needs a little bit of good luck here.
15.
And even if the pink pots, he's heading away from the reds. But I don't think the pink goes anywhere. Well, it does, but he's heading away up the table. So he's going to have to go all the way around the angles, and there's a lot of colours to avoid if he does that. And even then, he'd have to drop on the red that's near the black spot, to the left of the black spot. He's just trying to figure out if he could find that angle. It's somewhere along the lines, if he can judge it. It's not a bad effort. If he doesn't hit the blue, unlucky.
$21. Stuart Bingham, 21.
Have a look where that's finished.
Touching ball.
I suppose Stuart Bingham had a bit of good fortune when he hit the jaw of the middle pocket, went in behind the blue, but that was equally as fortunate there. Have another look at this. Once he missed the pot and cannoned into the reds, he would have thought, oh, this game could slip away. This frame could slip away, but what a result he's had there.
One.
He's one of the players, Stuart, that's got a lot of power with his cue action, and that type of shot there, he does it quite easily. Bit of a chance this now. Oh yeah, thought he was going to put that on the left jaw there, but safely in. Just at there, I thought maybe he'll hit the left jaw, but no problem.
7.
If he had an angle on a red here, he could have potted and just nudged the one away from the pink, but he hasn't got the angle to do that, as you can see. But the blue back on its spot helps the situation. Wow, I don't think anyone's seen that coming. That was just a lapse in concentration there.
One. Yeah. 3. 4.
Well, he's got a good angle on the green. Can either go into the 2 reds by the pink or the 3 reds. Just miss the blue. Just missed the blue. Good shot. Very good shot. I'm lucky not to bring more than 1 red off with that shot.
7.
You see all 3 of them moved.
Eight.
The red that's just above the black can play the yellow off 2, possibly 3 cushions. As long as the cue ball's somewhere near this black cushion, he'll be on that red to left corner.
Check.
Played for the red that Stephen suggested and could have done with just another few inches bouncing off that cushion there.
Eleven.
You could see Kyron there just aiming his cue at the line if he's going to play a direct stun across to cannon the pink. Leave the red to left corner. Just didn't get into the cue ball enough. And that's end of break. Decent target in behind green and brown.
16.
Just has to avoid the blue.
Gavin Wilson, 16.
And that's a pretty good shot there. He's back in this frame now because Stewart was going along very nicely until he missed that sitter of a blue. There is a gap, believe it or not, between the brown and green. But even with the gap, it's going to have to be a good shot to get back down the safety area. If he goes down the right side of the table, he's got to make sure he doesn't cannon into that red that's on that side of the table. So he needs a thinnish one. Well, he doesn't want it that thin though.
Foul, the miss. Gavin Wilson, 4.
Well, he's such a good long potter. Looks like he's not going to have them replaced. He's going to take this one on. Just having to get up off the shot. Frame coming to an end on the other table. Lots of people leaving the arena, watching the match on the other side. You can see them there. Table fitters brushing the table. All hustle and bustle in the Crucible.
Amazing. If it was down at one table and everyone started leaving, you would think what's going on. You would really know, but because it's two tables, you just take it for granted. You don't even notice it as a player.
One.
A similar kind of shot Karen Wilson played a few moments ago. Maybe that cue ball somewhere near that black cushion, bound to be on the red that's next to the pink. Oh, you're kidding me. You could play that shot another 50 times and it wouldn't land
Four.
there. Maybe slight exaggeration, Dennis. Maybe 10.
Yeah, that's more like it, Stephen.
Stuart Bingham, 4.
Can he just see enough of the red to the right of the pink to return the safety shot? I think he can. Yeah, well played. Just over the 30 minutes for this tactical frames, just the way it panned out. This could be a beauty. Got the snooker. Gotta be careful here. He could go in off this if he doesn't catch it just right. As he tried to just nestle up behind it. Even that has to be judged. Don't blame either player for taking a little bit longer. It's such an important frame. Karen looking to open up a 3-frame advantage. Stuart just to be one behind. And what about that for the pot? That certainly was worth waiting for. Terrific cueing there. But look what he's faced with. If he rolls the black in, he's got the red for the middle. That's why he got that little bit of a shake of the head. But if you're going to play it, you're better off just getting down and playing it. The more you think about it, the tougher it becomes. Doesn't fancy it. That's just because of the score line.
Stuart Bingham, 1.
So playing the snooker seems to be the correct choice, because Stuart now has a chance. Okay, he's near the cushion, but if he pots this, he'll automatically finish on a colour, you would have to say.
One.
Green's the more difficult, but the better ball to regain position.
Four. Six.
Quick glance round at the scoreboard. Green and brown would be enough.
Nine.
So he won the previous frame with the tournament high break of 137, and when this brown disappears, he's won the longest tactical frame.
18. $24.
And he wants the black as well.
Stuart Bingham, 24.
Doesn't matter that he's missed that. A very, very solid performance from Stuart Bingham there. It's anyone's match now. There's just one frame separates them. 10-9. Yeah, winning the Welsh this season gave Stuart a big boost, but he had a shot there that he thought about taking the black on, and if he rolls the black in, the reds there, and then it was just the circumstances of the score. He decided, no, I'll play the snooker, and it turned out to be the correct decision. because Kyron escaped from the snooker but left the red on. And
Thank you. Frame 20, Karen Wilson to break. Thank you.
very difficult, as I said, to pick a winner of this match now. Just one frame separating them. Can he make a better break-off shot? There's a couple of frames ago he broke off and sat down while Stewart cleared the table. That's a much better break-off. Well, having said that, Stewart might get down, roll this red in and clear the table again. But if he pots something like this, well, fair play to him. He did attempt it, believe it or not. Yeah, people just starting to come back in for play on the other table. And just talking about noise, I'll never forget 1975, I had to go all the way to Australia, played Fred Davis, and played in a leagues club in Sydney, and there was 500 fruit machines just the other side of a curtain I was playing. That was some noise, and they were all being played. And then, of course, 2 years after that, the World Championship landed at the Crucible Theatre, and we've been here ever since. Hard to believe we celebrated 40 years at the Crucible last Friday. I think most of us like to call it the Theatre of Dreams. We've got a few of those around the country.
Took a big risk there. Obviously, hand on the table, got to go for it, but played it in such a positive way. See where he's left it.
One.
Nice opening for Kyron Wilson. For losing that scrappy last frame. Chance to get his Q arm going again. Plenty open reds.
Eight.
Last frame before the mid-session interval. He'd love to go in with his 2-frame advantage intact. And that's
9.
pretty poor positional shot from Kyron there. Not as smooth as usual with his action there. This is a bit of a tester. And just shows you the importance of that last positional shot when he didn't play it very well. So a little bit of tension creeping in out there, Stephen.
Yep, the pressure very much showing in that visit to the table. We've seen how he came out in the first frame straight away and made that excellent 60 break. Sure, Bingham, having won the last 2 frames, has really put Kyron Wilson under it.
I don't think you can see enough of that to pot. And the one to the middle's much more difficult, but he's back looking at it. It's very, very tight, but from that angle there, it doesn't look as if you can see enough of the red. And just a bit too much pace.
One.
As I said, the mid-session interval's coming up, so quite understandable. A little bit of pressure with this frame.
Stuart Bingham, 1.
It's quite understandable under the circumstances.
One.
Lovely pot. Just done a winner discipline for those winners' famous Crucible late night 13-12s. What do you think?
Yeah, you heard it here first from the king of the Crucible, 7 times former champion. He wants a 13-12.
I don't think that's quite what I said, that I want a 13-12. I just think that's what we're going to get.
Three.
Yeah, I don't think either player would like a 13-12 either. Well, the winner wouldn't mind it, but he's terrific with the rest, is Kyron. He's up there with the Sean Murphys and Jimmy Whites, using the rest.
Ten.
Well, that was quite tight, man. Was still on the red. You'd be able to tell by Karen Wilson's body language if he was snookered. So he'd like to put an angle on his black now to pot the black and come off the cushion, miss the open red and go into the bunch. He's just going to stun past the cushion with a bit of left-hand side. Stun off the cushion, as I say, not past the cushion. It'll be on the floor.
That's the shot that Stephen was suggesting. Can he get enough action on it? Just played a dead weight to leave the red. Maybe felt if he had hit it any harder, he might have slipped past the reds.
18.
But there's no blue to go into the pink and reds from, so he's going to have to do it off a balk colour. And the blue's slightly in the way of coming down the right side of the table. Well, looking at that, he's going to have to do it off the brown. He played for the green there, but the brown and off 2 cushions, key shot coming up.
Yeah, the only problem he's got with that shot, he's now looking to see if this red is available to the left corner. The only problem with the brown is that it's such a slim target. It's very easy for the cue ball to slip off those reds the way they're shaped and just end up on the black cushion.
Yeah, if he can't find that individual red, he would have to go that red, but it's the green he's taking. It looks as if he's played to leave a double here. It's a free
22.
shot because he can't finish on the black. Well, that was a cracking double because not only did he double the red, he played the cue ball into the perfect spot. He certainly has the cue power for that type of shot.
30.
Yeah, that was very well played. Kept a tight grip on that cue ball. Didn't let it loose up to the bulk end of the table.
31.
Keeps having to go up that end of the table. It doesn't make the positional play any easier. As we said, he's got a very good cue action. This sort of shot is no problem for him at all.
That was a lovely shot of the pause at the back before he delivered the cue there, and he screwed that back
34.
with very little effort. And this is good stuff under the circumstances because he was put under a lot of pressure, and it's a great response from Kyron here. He's a very quiet, unassuming lad, is Kyron, but I'll tell you what, I've spent a fair bit of time chatting to him. He's so confident
42.
and so positive about his game. He feels he can beat anybody in the game, and I think that's why a lot of the former champions have got a great respect for him.
Yeah, this has been an excellent visit to the table because his first chance in this frame, he didn't really make much of a success of it. Started with an excellent red to the green pocket. Here we see
50.
cue ball quite close to the cushion, aiming down. Great control.
51.
And nice to have the plant there to secure this frame before the mid-session interval.
$58. $59.
Can't do much about this. It's been a superb effort. Doesn't matter about the pink.
Karen Wilson, 59. And the
He's
frame.
done what he needed to do. He shared the 4 frames. And Kyron Wilson goes to the mid-session interval.
please.
He's just 2 frames away from a famous victory. It's 11-9.
Yeah, Stuart Bingham is facing an early exit. How will Kyron be feeling right now, Steve?
I think delighted. I mean, like, you know, it's stupid to say every frame's important, but there seems to always be a significance on a frame before an interval, even a mid-session interval. And not just that, the way he won that frame, excellent opening red to get in, under severe pressure, very good pot. And then it wasn't all plain sailing, and he had to make a couple of choices as to how he went about continuing the break. He risked playing for the double. It seemed to be the right way to do it as a way of playing safe as well. Turned out perfectly, and he will probably gain a lot of confidence from that one visit clearance, and Stuart Bingham once again is up against it.
Yeah, and the other thing about Kyron, he's not let Stuart get involved in this match in any way, shape or form, not being able to stamp his authority on the game.
No, and I think, you know, you've got to say, from Stuart's perspective, 5-0 behind, which can happen, you get stuck in the hole, you just don't get off to a good start. 5-0 behind, Stuart's done a great job of digging himself out of that hole, but he's always been playing catch-up, and it's never nice. So, you know, his first problem, he's got to get back on in parity. So, and that's not necessarily going to happen, because Kyron Wilson's got enough about him, and I don't think he's afraid of winning.
OK, thank you very much indeed. Don't forget to keep your questions coming on the hashtag BBC Snooker. We'll do some of those very shortly. But let's switch our attention now to the other match taking place on the other table in the arena this evening. Ding Junhui taking on Liang Wenbo. Now, we know that Ding is obviously very good with a cue in his hand, but what about his handwriting? Here it comes, over to Adam Brand.
This writing is quite small. The absolute size, the top to the bottom, is only 7 millimetres, and the middle zone is about 3 millimetres. So you've got small writing, somebody who's not absolutely pushing himself forward. It's very disconnected, with a rather somewhat stiff and subdued rhythm, which is a sign of anxious alertness. But that's a positive in the sense that they're not going to miss anything. The letters are very separate, and there's a very clear gap between each of the letters, which is in this particular type of writing, is a sign of a slight pedantry and fussiness, who want to make certain everything's okay. It has a sinuous baseline. This is how you pursue your aims, and as you can see, it's slightly jumping up and down, so there's some uncertainty in this writing. And in addition to that, the personal pronoun is a lowercase I, which is extremely unusual because this is the most important letter in English anyhow, that the personal pronoun should be a capital letter. In addition to that, the M has a rising structure, whereby the second hump is higher than the first hump, and that is again a slight feeling of self-consciousness. The N again is one of these N's which are narrow versus the height, but this is very small writing, so it doesn't have quite the same connotations, but he is constraining his emotions, so he's unlikely to express what he truly feels is inside him. If you look at the signature, this is quite different to the rest of the writing. There's a nice hook at the beginning, which is, he knows what he wants to get, but the most interesting thing is quite a lot of embellishment going on here. But look at the end of the writing here, a very unusual structure. That is an X. Now when you have an X in a signature, it's somebody who really does like competition. So with all this slight withdrawn quality in the text, here is somebody who is capable in the ultimate to come out fighting.
There you are. Hope you enjoyed that. Right, Liang Wenbo, ranked 13 in the world, won the English Open this season. And this match has captured the imagination here and in China, where a huge TV audience is anticipated. Team Ding would have been happier after the first session, leading by 6 frames to 2. But Liang Wenbo won the first 2 of the evening session before Ding responded with a break of 91 to take the next. Let's show you the best of the next frame. Commentary from John Parrott and Willie Thorne.
Could have screwed back for the blue, which I don't blame him because the red next to the black is available. So trying to play this as a shot to nothing. And where's the red going? That's the problem with playing shot to nothing, is you never have an idea really when you miss the pot where the red's going to end up.
Yes, I did commentary earlier this afternoon on one of the matches and said, well, this is a shot to nothing, and he missed it. And then there was another one, stuck its nose out, and it wasn't a shot to nothing at all, and he cleared up with 100. So you never really know. A few reds available here off the brown, doesn't have to go into the pack. Red's on the bottom, one near the black. One to the left, both go, so we'll come across the table. Yep, screwed down for the one near the black, and of course the one I mentioned on the left, that goes as well.
5. Six.
Just having a look whether the bottom red of the 3 reds above the black, when he pots this red, that'll decide then whether what angle he needs on the black.
I think he had a look for the one directly above the black, whether that'd go through the middle of the cluster as well. That's what he was just having a little look at. But I don't know how he's going to get on that unless he plays a little cannon.
There's not an awful lot of room coming off the top cushion to get that cannon. He can only see half ball. Okay, if he gets the cannon full ball and he'd be on those 2 reds. But I'd rather play short, John, than risk the cannon.
Interested to see what he does. Yeah.
Played short.
Is he on it? Looks like it. Now.
21.
Got to play the screw back. Or is he playing the run through? Looks like he's playing the run through. Yeah, well played.
22.
Excellent shot. Taking these well.
Yeah, the last 2 shots were absolutely top draw. They really were. This is now a chance to... The standard this evening has been fabulous. 84.75 from Liang, 91 from Ding, and an excellent chance here of getting a sizable break. Hopefully for Liang Wenbo supporters, they'll hope he's won a frame winning proportion. It could well be.
Yeah, he's got to hold himself together.
29.
Take a deep breath and go to work. Gets 7-5 at the interval. The first part of his job this evening has been done.
$30.
Last year or so I was playing in qualifiers up at Prestatyn. I turned up one day to play my match, and he'd just come off the table, Liang. He'd played in a qualifier and he'd made 3 centuries, a 90 and a maximum in a 5-0 win. That'll get you noticed. Not bad, is it? And he played the following afternoon and got beat 5-2.
38.
No consistency, you see, that's the problem. Yeah, the boy can play.
This is a very good response from Liang.
45.
Could have been kicking himself over the last frame, but quickly put it to the back of his mind.
46.
And he's a totally different scorer this evening than he was in the start of this match. He mentioned breaks of 84 and 75 so far. And this is looking good. When he gets
53.
playing like this, he's a handful for anybody.
Ding Junhui's highest break has been beaten tonight on the other table, so 137 is now the highest break, and there's an excellent chance here of eclipsing that. But the key thing, Ding will want to get by the winning post, 75 or above he wants to score, then he can start wondering about the possible 144, which is now 143.
Yeah, Liang will just be looking for that 75 or above, won't he, just to make sure the frame's safe. Get the frame in the bag. Far more important to be 7-5 behind than chasing the high break at the moment.
60.
Good stuff this evening, isn't it?
61.
That's fantastic. I think the high break goes without saying that there's so many players now break building to a very high quality. I think we'll see a maximum this year. Well, that's his. What I was going to say was about a mistake. He played for the red. It's on the pink spot into the corner. Okay, he's got second prize. He's got this one in the middle. But this is frame ball. Very well played, Liang Wenbo. Excellent.
Absolutely top class. Tremendous scoring, it really is. Now, the funny thing is, he's gone a little bit too far here, but it's perfect because he pots this and flicks a few reds out.
He was bemoaning his luck there, having a bounce off the cushion, wasn't he? But it was a good bounce this time. And now the high break prize is on.
$84. 85.
Well, that red being tight to the cushion has made the shot
92.
a little easier. Cushion and ball together should hug the cushion. There you go.
93.
Just went a little bit off, it makes them more difficult. Just this for a century. And how well have you played here, young man? Very good.
101.
I mentioned a little earlier that Stuart Bingham now holds the high break of 137. He's not held it for long.
109.
Well, the angle be hoping he hasn't. Doesn't look like there's any real barrier. Even the green isn't too bad. It's off the cushion. Green to brown should be relatively easy. But he's taken these superbly well.
Yes, you would think pink to black's the only stumbling block at the minute.
118.
This has been just flawless snooker. I think they've missed. Ding missed a couple of shots in the first two frames, but I think they've missed one each since then.
121.
Keep going. Perfect. Win this through, leave yourself half ball on the pink. There it is. Perfect.
130.
Well played. Pink to black. Only possible thing that can go wrong.
Oh, you're kidding. Well, can you believe it? He was so excited at Hoppy getting 1-4-3. He can only smile, but rest assured that won't be win the highest break prize. And what a session of snooker from these two players. Liang Wenbo closes to within 2 at 7-5.
Wonderful stuff from Liang, but look what happened in the next frame. Oh, what a chance. We saw him bang his head on the table against Stuart Carrington in the first round and then slapped his head in the previous frame, and that allowed Ding to get back in. Steve, what happened to Liang Wenbo? Just a lapse of concentration there, Steve.
Just put a little bit of unwanted side spin on, perhaps didn't hit the ball with the same authority as intended for the side spin he put on, and paid the ultimate price. Flicked the yellow over to the far jaw. And that's a massive moment in this
Because
frame.
he was looking so good as well, wasn't he, Liang?
Yeah, he looked like he got back in this game, and Ding's been up against it for most of the session, and that's just blown it all in one go. So now Ding's got breathing space.
By the way, you're watching us on the red button, but if you do want to watch that Liang Wenbo Ding Junhui match, that's available on the BBC Sport website and the BBC Sport app right now. Our match for you here on the red button, Stuart Bingham against Kyron Wilson, the 2015 world champion Bingham facing an exit from the World Championship. And as for Kyron, well, he loves his other sports too.
Muhammad Ali, just pure confidence and always backed it up. I unfortunately wasn't old enough to see it, but England winning the World Cup of football. That's all I was interested in at school. I'm a bit of a sports fanatic. I love my sports. Ronnie O'Sullivan, just because he's just the best that's ever played the game. Probably ruffle a few feathers, but probably get a shot clock in. Sometimes it can just drag a little bit. I think the crowd will get a little bit more excited with a shot clock. Most definitely the Crucible. It's just an unbelievable atmosphere. The crowd are right on your back. Locally, yeah, it's a nice feeling. It means you're doing well for yourself. So yeah, it's a nice touch. Oh yeah, it would have been as a junior. I actually brought 50 Cent's album PIMP because I thought I was a bit cool back then. I did an exhibition with my coach Barry Stark in Nottingham, and as I was leaning over the table about to play a shot, I let one rip and just thought I'd admit it to the rest of the crowd, which actually didn't hear it, so I made a bit of a fool of myself.
Yeah, the players are back out after their mid-session interval. Let's just bring Steve in before we hand back to our commentary team. And Steve, how do you see this one going? Can he do something and stay in this World Championship, or do you think it's an early finish for Kyron?
Well, I don't think Kyron's necessarily over the line at all, and Stuart Bingham is within touch at 9, only 2 frames behind. We've seen so often in the heat of the moment what can happen, certainly at the Crucible. So Stuart Bingham will just be focused on his job, one ball at a time.
Good stuff. Thank you very much indeed, Steve. Back we go then to Dennis and Stephen.
Thank you, Jason. Yep, one ball at a time, frame by frame. That was my autobiography in 1985. Called it Frame by Frame, and that's what you've got to do. Very impressive start after the mid-session interval, and the kiss on the brown means that he can pot either yellow or green, but from almost on the cushion. Terrific. This needs to bounce. He's got the long red up into the right corner past the blue and green. He's not on this one, I don't think. Now, just come up a fraction short after travelling all that way around the table. Potted one earlier where he made the angle, played it beside, but I don't think he can do that. He's better off taking the long one, and this is a little bit of a test for Kyron. Tell you what, he doesn't seem to mind the pressure to knock that one in, Stephen.
Yeah, this was certainly potted with authority. I mean, he's not got ideal position from it. A very confident pot.
I mean, look at this shot with the rest. I mean, that's beautifully played. It really is. I think he showed the amount of bottle he has in that previous frame.
Eight.
And what he's doing, Stephen, he seems to be enjoying himself out there as well. You know, he's under extreme pressure, but he's playing some terrific stuff here.
Yeah, he seems to love playing at the Crucible. He love the, you know, the biggest event that we have in snooker. If you
15.
can play your best stuff here, you know, that means you're some player.
16.
Because there's some pressure in this place. You're here over 17 days, you're going to take a lot of hits, a lot of bad shots, a lot of frames you should have won that you lose. It's having the temperament to withstand all that.
And an early key shot coming up here because he's going to disturb red and the pink. Can he get on a colour?
$24.
Couldn't have split them any better than that. So he's just one more shot away from getting an ideal position as we show you that split again. He's got a red up past the blue there to one more good shot, and he's got a great chance here. Oh, he's going to snooker himself with the green, is he? I think he's just gone far enough.
30.
First to 13.
$31.
His two victories against Stewart. We've only played each other twice, both in China. He won 5-1 in the Shanghai Masters
34.
in 2013 and 5-2 in the China Open this season.
35.
I struck that perfectly. Now in
42.
absolute prime position. I'll be very, very disappointed to win the frame from here.
43.
Well, it looks very much like this is going to be another frame one
50.
from the break-off. This will be the third time it's happened tonight.
$51.
May have to just go up for the blue here. He wanted to be
58.
straight on this red. He's not that many pots away from opening up a 3-frame advantage. He could hold for the pink, that was even better. This is terrific stuff from Kyron. Got to the quarter-final last year where he lost 13-8 to Mark Selby. It looks like he's got intentions 66. Of doing better this year. Stuart can't do anything about this. May not be on that red, but it doesn't really matter. 72 ahead. He might be able to get to the potting 72. Angle of the one to the middle pocket.
So that red going in is Stuart Bingham. It's not as if he's going to get back to the table anyway, but it wouldn't be coming back now. So can Kyron Wilson go on and make the century break? He certainly wouldn't bet against it now.
81.
Been 37 centuries so far. This year's Betfred World Snooker Championship.
88.
Just the 1 century so far in this game. Oh, he's overcut the red.
What a shame, no century break, but he won't be too disappointed with that. Stuart Bingham just made one mistake, and that was all Kyron Wilson needed. He took it with that magnificent break, and now he's just 1 frame away from a place in the quarter-final. 12-9.
Yep. Crucial frame that for Kyron Wilson. By the way, Scott on Twitter says, I'm calling it now. Kyron Wilson to be the 2017 world champion. This lad has just got it. I would have thought that the reigning champion who's practicing over there, Mr. Selby, will have something to say about that. But anyway, fantastic.
Yeah, to win it in one visit. But there was a moment in that frame where his heart would have been in his mouth, and I think Stuart Bingham would have considered himself a little unlucky. Kyron pots the pink. Yeah, good pink in the middle pocket. The red over the middle pocket there, begging to be potted. But this white ball comes off the cushion, and it looked for all the world as if he snookered himself behind the green, fractionally just on it. But it would have been a different story had he not been on it. We'd have all been criticising for a poor positional shot. Half an inch, quarter of an inch.
Yeah. It's looking bleak for Stuart now, isn't it?
Yeah, from it being sort of 2 frames and him having a bit of breathing space, now there's nowhere to hide.
He gave himself too much to do, though, didn't he, Steve, in that first session yesterday?
Yeah, but he would have thought that he was, getting back into the game at one stage. But Kyron's kept producing some decent snooker, 1 frames with needing snookers. That's always good. And as we've mentioned, he's an excellent competitor and has revelled in the Crucible already. And we don't know what he's capable of. You know, he could be world champion. We just don't know what he's capable of. He's improving all the time.
Yeah, well, he reached the quarterfinals last year and was beaten by the man who's practicing in this room, Mark Selby, as Mark triumphed here at the Crucible last year. He's 1 frame away from a place in the next round.
And he's made a pretty decent break-off shot. Probably just a little bit harder. Would have left the white tucked up in the cushion. Now, Stuart Bingham, don't write this man off. You would do at your peril. OK, he's got to win all 4 frames, but he's quite capable of doing that if he gets the chance. But this is not very inviting as an opener. But there you go. 1.
Oh, these 2 players are just putting one every time off the break-off tonight. Incredible. Yeah, great shot, Stuart Bingham. He knows now that every miss, every mistake now could be his last in this year's championship. Sometimes that makes you produce your best form.
That just wobbled slightly before disappearing. Let's have a look at it from this angle. Any more pace, it would have stayed out. Now this is a little bit of a tester. Well played, right in the centre of the pocket.
Nine.
And he's given himself a great chance now. Previously he couldn't play the cannon on that red. Now he can from this position. Just needed just to nudge it, and he was going to have a choice of reds.
16. 17.
Well, he's got a kick there. He was hoping to run through a bit further, then pot the black and cannon into the reds, even though he's got 3 available reds. Just watch this. Just jump slightly. But it's not a problem because he can play for the red next to the black.
$24. 25.
He's left this rather awkward for himself. He hasn't got much of an angle on the black. You can see it's just off straight. It's going to be the long red up into the left corner pocket.
32.
Well, can he just screw past the pack of reds if he has a go at that? Maybe not from that angle. But if he does judge it and he gets the cannon in the right way, he could be on the black. Brilliant shot. Superb shot. There was a lot going on with that shot, not only the pot, but to judge the cannon and get himself on the black. Match time just coming over 7 hours, and that
40.
is 5 reds and 5 blacks.
$41.
Perfect angle. He'd love to just cannon the red. Not the one directly behind the pack. The other one would be ideal. Yeah, if he could cannon that one with a bit of screw on it. And that's what he's done. Beautiful shot. Beautifully played.
48. Thank you.
He's just got to judge the contact and potting this red. Well, he's coming around to look at the other one. But the red is looking at the right corner. He's got to judge a cannon off the red that's next to it if he wants to stay in the black.
Well, his main concern is the frame, isn't it? To get to 12-10. He's done the maximum on 3 occasions. But you can see his intentions here. He wants a 4th maximum break. £10,000 for the highest break. Well, £5,000 if you make a maximum.
Don't get me started on that, Dennis. Let's just let Stuart concentrate on this 147 break.
56.
You could not place the reds in a better position.
Yeah, he had 7 reds and 7 blacks earlier on in this match. It was the 7th frame and then broke down, but he's still in pretty good shape here.
Yeah, he's just lost the cue ball by literally an inch to make this a straightforward automatic positional shot. That's why he hasn't played it by now, because he knows there's more angle in this black than he wanted.
$64. $65.
His highest break at the Crucible Theatre is 145, made in 2015.
72.
This red will make the frame safe. Come on, Stuart, the frame's safe.
73.
And I'm sure even Karen Wilson wouldn't mind if his opponent made the magical 147 here. He'll already be thinking about the next frame.
Oh dear. My, it's
80.
got the red that's to the right of the table, to right corner. That's the one he's going to have to play if he wants to stay on the black.
Well, what a shame. He ran slightly out of position. Karen Wilson puts his cue down and leaves the arena. I didn't think Stuart Bingham was finished just yet, and he's not. That gave him the frame, and it's 12-10 now.
If you want to get in touch with us, hashtag BBC Snooker. So close to pressing send I was. Switch on the red button I was going to tell the viewers not with us. 147 alert. I didn't send it.
Well, it was a fantastic chance for 147. I think it's bigger fish to fry than that 147, but and possibly by not making it, he can keep his focus on that, because it's a strange thing, the 147. It has no relevance on the whole match, but he'll still be disappointed to have thrown it away, but perhaps it could stand him in good stead for the rest of the match. This red, you know, he could have played it 2 cushions. He played the stun shot, more positive way, perhaps, but it perhaps made the pot slightly more difficult, and perhaps when you're trying to get a 147 in the bag, you want to make the pots as easy as possible. But he had run out of position.
But he's given himself a little slim glimmer of hope, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's loads of times. I mean, I think Joe Johnson, the year he beat Terry Griffiths to then end up winning the World Championship in the second round, he needed to win the last 4 frames to stay in the match. It might even be 5.
Well, also, he won 3 on the bounce in the first session as well, didn't he? But yeah. different stage of the match as well. Lots of questions coming in, by the way, and there are many, many people who are getting in touch with us. Lots of good questions about snooker. But also, we started something the other night with Stephen Hendry. We had a very random question which said, Stephen Hendry, what's your favourite cheese? And it's become a bit of a theme now. Most evenings, people are tweeting me to say they're missing the cheese chat. So,
wow,
it's... we have to answer the questions that people are asking.
I'd go a really top, high-quality cheddar.
Would you?
Yeah, not a smooth one, a rough inside, and that's probably not the correct term.
Yeah,
and
Mark
also,
he's giggling away. There are some things I thought I'd never do on live television, and this is one of them.
And the same, an unpasteurised, top-quality brie, you know.
What?
Mark Selby thinks he's walked into a different type of world here. He's here practicing. This is actually happening, Mark. This is actually going out live.
Wouldn't say Red Leicester. Never really a fan of the weaker ones. Red Leicester's not, you know.
Was that a dig, sir?
It wasn't a dig. I just thought I'd just put it out there.
They're elite triangles, mate.
Right, OK, let's go back to the snooker. Save us, Stephen Hendry, save us.
Stilton all day long. Karen Wilson's not back in the arena yet. Stuart Bingham's ready to go.
Yeah, I don't blame him. After the way he played in that previous frame. And good point from Steve Davis there. If he hadn't made a maximum break, could have took a little bit of the focus away. And now he can just concentrate, because it is a big thing to make your first ever maximum break at the Crucible. As I say, he's done it 3 times, but he looks pretty determined there, ready for action.
Thank you. Frame 23, Stuart Bingham to break.
Now, can he play a good enough break that Karen Wilson doesn't have a pot to go at? No, is the answer. He's still got that red to left corner, which has been potted a couple of times tonight already. Yeah, there it is again. Every time Stuart had broken off tonight, Karen Wilson's potted the ball, and as I said in the last frame, when every mistake of Stuart's could be his last, could that break off be his last shot in this year's World Championship?
And he's played an absolute gem of a positional shot. That is top class there. He's used 3 cushions to get on the red next to the black. That was brilliant.
5.
So how many can he make from this chance? He went out after the last frame, probably just to compose himself. And he's come back in. And
12.
what a start to this frame.
$13. $20. $21.
Stephen was talking about getting in with 6 out of the 7 frames. Either player has got in off the break-off shot. And how is your luck? It's pretty good. You can get through to this red, and the black's available, the pink's
26.
available.
Yeah, very good contact on the pink there. It's full ball contact, keeping the cue ball in the middle of the table. You have to be very unlucky not to be on one when you play it like that, or as well as that.
27.
Turned professional in 2010. He probably feels like he's served his apprenticeship, and his time is now in the game of snooker. The gentleman next to me got to be world champion and world #1 in 5 seasons. John Higgins did it in 6 seasons.
34.
Mark Williams, I think, took 6 or 7 seasons to do it. Oh, he's let that one slip
35.
away just a little bit. No. Yes. I think just the pace again. I thought he'd missed that.
42. $43.
What has he done here?
No, I think if we weren't at 12-10, you see the shot just gets too thick a contact on that red. In practice, it'd be straight down swerving around the red to pot the black, but it's far too risky at this stage.
Yeah, I think one of the ball colours safe, especially being 43 points in front. He needs a little bit of insurance.
Karen Wilson, 43.
As he left a tempter for Stuart Bingham. Stuart's looking at the red to the right of the pink. What a shot that would be to take on, but he has had a look at it. He's got a pretty straightforward safety shot. He's back looking at the pot again. He's just looking to see if he could find a gap there if he does take the pot on. Well, here we go. This is a huge shot that Stuart Bingham is taking on here. It really is. That was very, very risky, but he thought, I'm going to have a go, and who can blame him? But under the circumstances, that was very tough. And if this red goes into the left middle pocket, it could be the end of match, but this is far from easy. A lot of pressure on this one. Well, that was, under the circumstances, a terrific pot. A very acute angle. He's on the black. Has Stuart Bingham played his last shot in this year's World Championship? Still got to knock them in, though. Pressure, pure pressure. If he knocks the black in, he wins the match.
Oh, that was the technical term for this is a twitch. Seen the winning line.
One.
Stuart Bingham can find a clearance here. Things could get very interesting here.
Black is out of commission at the moment. be in the clear if he could get it back on its own spot, but it doesn't matter what colour he plays for, the blue is available. The simple fact is he's got to keep potting them, and he may, I was going to say may have to take the pink, but there is a red to the left of the tree, but he's the wrong side of the blue. Wanted to be the left side of the blue line. So it's the more difficult pink. The yellow's a little bit of a distraction there. I think Stewart should have got it off the shot, because play has finished on the other table. Much better had he have stood up and let the applause die down. How costly is this? It's difficult to stop yourself sometimes. It's a bit like a golf shot, but you need to step away and go back to it again.
One.
But he's not quite getting through the ball, and that's purely because of the situation here and a little bit of tension. This is a big moment in this young player's career.
Six.
43 ahead if he pots a red. And a blue, he'll need one more red. And this red's a bit tight.
Yeah, he just had a wry smile. Kyron Wilson there. He's not quite gotten any of these reds, I don't think. Desperately wants to be able to play this red.
I think he'll have to hit them both together to pot it. We've got the perfect picture there. And he's potted both of them. 8. Well, what a bonus that is.
Well, that's amazing. In his first round match, he missed match ball and fluked it in the middle. And that time, he's potted 2 at once to leave Stuart Bingham need a snooker. I mean, he's on the pink anyway.
Well, he's ran out of position, but 51 in
14.
front with a possible 43 on the table. A sort of exhibition type shot. Stewart comes
14,
to the table,
Kyron
but
Wilson.
barring snookers, it's a famous victory for Kyron Wilson to knock out the former champion, 13-10. Well, that's a cracker. I'll tell you what, to pot that and get on the black. Black, and then you'll be looking for a couple of snookers. .43 behind, 35 on the table. The yellow's in a pretty good position. Wants something near a cushion and not tight on it to be able to play in behind. Don't know if he can get in behind the yellow here. The brown might be slightly in the way. Now just playing over behind one of the other colours, but he's found the gap.
Stuart Bingham, 8.
You'll want to keep this red on the table. Oh, he might just... I thought he might just turn around and shake hands, but he's going to give Kyron the glory. He's going to let him pot this final red. You're looking at a very classy player here who led 5-0. And Stuart Bingham made a terrific comeback, almost levelled at 8-all. Kyron got a snooker and pinched that frame, last frame of the second session. But he's got himself back into the quarter-final again, Stephen.
Yeah, and this half of the draw is wide open. Who's to say? You can't go a lot further in this competition.
Stuart Bingham comes forward. The gentleman that he is congratulates Kyron Wilson. What a performance. He's a very modest young man, but he's a very, very confident young man. And he beats the former world champion in the end. It looked comfortable, but it wasn't all that comfortable. 13 frames to 10. Well done, Kyron Wilson.
Yes, what a fantastic performance from Kyron Wilson. But the big story is the 2015 world champion Stuart Bingham out of this year's championship. Kyron on his way from the arena into our studio, where we'll have a chat with him as soon as he gets in. But that's just a wonderful performance from Kyron Wilson. Listen to the crowd there, they love him.
Yeah, and yeah, he's a new kid on the block, and I think that's always nice for the game. From Stuart Bingham's perspective, I think a tough match. He was always playing catch-up. And interestingly, I did have a chat with him. I think he's going to be trying a new cue out next season. He's already committed to playing with a new cue, which begs the question, you know, was he happy with the one he's playing with? You know, and if that's in your mind, perhaps that means he's not as sharp as when he won the World Championship.
What's really interesting as well is that as the Ding Junhui Liang Wenbo match finished, and the crowd absolutely loved that. We'll show you some of the best moments here. I just wonder whether Stuart will look back at this shot and think, what was I doing? Why didn't I get up? Just talk us through, Steve, what happens there? What goes through the mind?
Big problem when there's obviously the two tables set up, but we make do with it. But obviously, big clapping on the other table out of nowhere, and you don't know what's happening. You're aware of something's happening, and it can be on your mind. Two ways to go about it. Block it out as if it's, you know, you're in your normal snooker club and there's all noise around you, or get up and start the process again. And of course, you're hiding to nothing really, because that can put pressure on. If by getting up you're under pressure more, so you know, so you could argue it's just as well to get on with it.
Yeah.
It's just preference.
Yeah, and you can't fault the crowd either, because obviously we've been keeping our eye on that match as well. They've been treated some fantastic snooker. In fact, I saw a few people get up and applaud them, give them a standing ovation. I suppose what Stuart needs to do there, I suppose it's the heat of the moment, isn't it? It's a crucial piece of decision making.
You can do one, yes, and there's how Kyron. Congratulations, Kyron.
Cheers, I mean, man, well done, Kyron.
Just discussing that when the crowd clapped and Stuart was on the pink. What would you do? Do you stand up and play, or do you carry on playing the shot?
It's hard, isn't it? I think that the match had ended on the other table, so he'd have been waiting a very long time. It's hard, you know. I think he did the right thing by playing it, because, you know, you get into a rhythm almost, and it was a big pressure shot. So, personally, I might have stood up and then got straight back down, but you couldn't have waited for too long.
Anyway, back to more important things.
Absolutely, yeah. Many congratulations, yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, it was a big sigh of relief there, but you've been in complete control of this match after taking those first 5 frames in the first session, Kyron?
Yeah, that's the hard part about the 3-session matches. You know, they can turn all the time, and I went 5-0 up. Probably should have gone 6-0 up, and you know, I didn't have a very good night's sleep that night. But you've just got to look at it positively and just say, you know, I'm 5-3 up. Get on with it, sort of thing. I took 5-3 at the start of the match, so But yeah, it was just nip and tuck all the way. I think I managed to hold on to about a 2-frame lead more or less throughout the match and pulled away a little bit at the end.
Yeah, he kept sort of snapping at your heels, but you did keep that breathing space, which is all important. And there was the frame, the 12-10 to go either 13-10 or 12-11. That was a great break you made there.
Yeah, he kept leaving me sort of the same red off his break-off. I was sort of dropping in that long red and holding for the green. I don't know if that was that frame, but I think I did it about 3 times. But yeah, I think I potted a very good red off the cushion, into the green pocket.
And start of that break, I think.
Yeah, got a nice split and finished him well.
And also, when you're potting as well, and especially towards the end of that match as well, Kyron, you've obviously got a bit of a fan club as well because, you know, there are a few people there who are obviously cheering you on as well. Do you feed off that energy from the Crucible crowd?
Yeah, definitely. I just think it's a little bit of a shame this year that we've been limited to our family tickets and that I would have had more in. But yeah, it's nice to have family and friends there. They cheer you on, but, you know, the Crucible crowds are always very appreciative of whoever's playing good snooker. They appreciate the good shots, and these are our like real hardcore snooker fans, and they just want to see good snooker.
And the great thing from your perspective is, obviously now you're into the quarterfinals, but you've had the experience from last year, so you know what's ahead. Effectively, you know the job in hand.
Yeah, I had this man in this round last year. He's a very hard man to beat, but yeah, I felt like it's held me in good stead, ready for this year. The 3-session matches are just, you can't even practice for it, really. They're so difficult to prepare for. But, you know, it's into the thick of the tournament now, and I'm thoroughly happy to be there.
There are many players as well, Kyron. They come in to have a chat with us in studio, don't they, Steve? And they talk about battling the nerves as well, and especially people who haven't been here as much as Mark Selby and Ronnie O'Sullivan, for example, and they come in and say they feel tense, they feel nervous. You seem to be really, really relaxed out there.
Yeah, my debut, I think, like many great players along the line, it's a little bit like a rabbit in the headlights. I felt like my second time last year, I really learnt from that. Went deep into the tournament, and it just feels like I'm practicing at home. It's just it's so much fun. You know, the crowd love it, I love it. And, yeah, it's just a joy to play in front of. It's just, yeah, I feel very comfortable out there.
Yeah, and it's Mark Allen or John Higgins in the quarter-final as well. How's your form against those two chaps?
I think I played Mark here last year in the last 16. We had a very good match. That was a close match as well. And John's
playing really well, isn't he, Mark?
I haven't seen it, to be honest. But, yeah, you know, they're all playing well by this stage. But John's a great champion as well, so either one will be a very tough match.
I look forward to it. Thank you very much indeed.
Thanks
for popping in to see us.
Cheers.
Thank you very much indeed. OK, so I was saying that the other table and the fans on the other table have been treated some thrilling snooker. We left it at 8-5, didn't we? And they shared the next 2 frames as well. We're going to show you what happens in the final frame of the session. Commentary from John Parrott and Woody Thorne.
The final frame of this session in what has been an exceptionally high-quality encounter. It's Liang Wenbo to break off, and this is a huge frame. If he can win it 9-7 overnight, he'll have won this particular session 5-3 to get himself right back in it. If Ding Junhui wins the frame, he'll have made up no ground at all, despite playing very well this evening, Liang.
One.
Big shot coming up here. Excellent.
Four. Five.
I always thought the best middle pocket player in our era, John, was James Watanabe. But Ding is exceptional in middle pockets, very rarely misses them. Now he's got a little wry smile on the face here. I don't know whether he's hit it hard enough to pot this red.
Well, if he's not on this red, it's a huge misjudgment, but he might be able just to bend it with a little bit of side. Yep.
11.
Negotiated.
He obviously knows that the black is potable, but he's wondering about when it goes back up to his own spot, will the red still be available? And he could just run through and just flick the red out of the way. And that's what he tried to do, tried to just push it out of the way, and then he just caught the red. Just moved it enough though. A little flick on the red, just pushed
18.
it wide of the spot.
$19.
Yeah, taking these well so far, and of course black here, red next to the black, and then a little cannon up into the one on the right hand side will leave the bottom one on the cluster available. Well, might not be able to play that now. Needs to get to 69
26.
points to be over the line in this frame.
I find this hard to believe that Ding can possibly get out of this session now at 4-4. For me, I can't remember him seeing him play. It's been all Liang Wenbo.
Yeah, the last frame was massive and it was brilliantly played by Ding. Yes, the balls were there. Oh, what a miss. What a miss.
27.
And he can't believe it either. Didn't see that coming. So, reprieve.
1.
Will that be costly?
Well, of all the wonderful breaks we've had in this session, we've had 3 or 4 such easy balls missed. And that green was another one.
So it's made it exciting, really. We haven't really known what's been coming. Standard's been incredible. These two boys have really played well.
9.
As you say, 1 or 2 inexplicable misses, giving it the drama that we've seen this evening.
$16.
Looks like it's, well, I'm just wondering whether he was going to play a shot there and try and, it looked like he was queuing to move a few reds out there. No need for that, the bottom one
17.
pots, but cue ball's not great.
Such is the standard of this match so far. There's only been 1 frame where there hasn't been a break of 50 or above, and that was frame 6, when 36 was the highest break in the frame. Every other frame has been such a high quality, but this is the most important frame of the lot.
Right, needs to stun this in. Got a half ball on the black and a cannon into the red on the right hand side of the cluster will open them out lovely. So he needs a half ball.
23.
And I don't think he's got it. So we'll have to come back for the red that's closest to his bridge hand and then try and get on that again. And he slightly overscrewed that one as well, so His cue ball's
30.
not quite been right in the last couple of shots. He really did need to keep that a little tighter to the cushion there, just to drop it in, because the black is the ideal ball to go into that pack with. Can't do it now though.
$31.
And that's not ideal, with the pink being so far away from that cluster of 5. There's no avenue to go blue to the pack of reds without trying to hit the pink full ball. And of course, if you don't hit the pink full ball, you're on nothing.
You're going to punch this round the 2 angles now. Just wondering whether he can do that. Oh my goodness me, what a shot. What a try that was. I don't think I've ever seen that shot played before.
It was great. We saw a flick of the leg. We've seen a flick of the arm when he's in, but all of a sudden he flicks his red up here to try and help the cannon and missed it by an absolute fraction. Excellent effort.
Young Mambo, 36.
36, but he knows full well not getting position. Half ball on that black on 2 occasions was a mistake. Ding is trying to force Liang into opening the reds up. No great place to hide the cue ball. Okay, brown and yellow are on the spot, but nothing close together, so I don't think Liang will be falling for the old trick there. He'll be pushing that one up and down. Good shot.
Had a good look at this red, whether it passes the brown. If it does pass the brown, he'll take it on, because he can play it back down for the black and not leave anything on. Obviously we can't get the camera down to let you know whether that does pass the brown, because it's very, very tight. I didn't see this attempt at a pot coming. Very strange choice, but played it in such a way that he's covered it up, I think.
I don't think he has. It's there. As you say, very ambitious. Once again, another chance for Liang, and important when you play this one to make sure you get the cue ball down past that balk line. Sometimes the cue ball can get trapped here and you don't hit it hard enough. So how's your position?
1.
Well, not bad. Been a really awkward little cluster these to get into. Liang's looking there. He'd have to be nearly perfect here to get that cannon. To hit the pink, you'd have to hit it nearly full ball to split the 3 reds up. Do you like that shot, Willie?
No, I don't. I'd want to be playing for the red next to the brown. Why risk doing anything? Because you can get an ideal angle on the next colour rather than risk it this time. But he's played it beautifully. Played it beautifully. Deserved to win the frame from that.
That was an absolutely class shot. It really was. Wonderful touch. And in the circumstances, as good as a shot as you've played this evening. So important to have got that cannon right.
This has just been an absolute pleasure to commentate on, John, hasn't it? OK, we've had a couple of missed balls, we've had a bit of tension with frame balls being missed, but the standard of breakballing and the positional shots from both these players, and I think it would have almost been an injustice if Digger had come out 4-4.
Yeah, not over, of course.
40.
Anything can happen at the moment. OK, 23-point lead on the black. Should get the 2 reds. We take everything for granted. There's a fair bit of pressure out there for him. 9-7 is a whole lot sweeter than 10-6.
21. 22.
So it's all about this shot. Just make sure you get past the middle pocket. He's played this the hardest way around. Why would you even risk going into the blue? Unbelievable.
29.
He's played 2 of the worst shots I've seen in the tournament tonight. The pink to get onto 2 reds earlier on, and all you do is you don't have to go anywhere near the blue.
Yeah, I think it's just personal preference, that shot. He just fancied playing the stun instead. What a recovery that is. Followed that shot with that one. That was a beauty.
30.
And well done, Liang Wenbo. You've been exceptional this evening, my friend. Very good indeed.
Well, he must have been playing that red with so much disappointment, and it was an excellent shot, wasn't it? What a great section of snooker we've witnessed this evening. This crucible crowd have witnessed 8 of the best frames we've seen so far this year
39.
at the Betfred World Championship. Well, what a fantastic session these 2 Chinese players have given this crowd almost a standing ovation they're getting for that exhibition of snooker. Liang Wenbo right back into the match now. He wins the set from 5-3, but still trails 9-7.
A session of high-quality snooker. In fact, that big cheer that you heard right at the very end was indeed the cheer that put Stuart Bingham off his pot. But what a brilliant match this has been.
Yes, possibly, and also a bit of laughing. So perhaps thinking about Stuart Bingham's moment, that was quite heaped it on there. But yeah, an amazing match, great standard. And had it not been perhaps all ifs and buts, I know, for that yellow that Liang, it could have even been level. And that's a great performance against Ding Junhui, who is considered the master in China. And I think probably all the Chinese players have got to overcome the fact they're playing the top dog.
And by the way, you can see that match live on BBC One. They will play to a finish tomorrow afternoon. What do you think will happen, Steve?
You know, you never know with not with Ding Junhui so much. You never know with Liang Wenbo. He's a bit of an unknown quantity. He won his first ranking event this season, and he's in a. No, it's going to sound strange. Financially, he hasn't got a problem with the game like a lot of players have. So therefore, that helps sometimes when you're trying to knock a ball in. You don't have to sort of like get your next meal on the table. He's vastly talented, great break builder, bit of a one-off. Has got the occasional twitch in him under pressure, but he can get over the line now. He knows that. So I think Ding will be slightly more worried than he was after the first session.
Wonderful stuff. Enjoyed your company tonight, Steve. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much. And we are back later. Well, Steve's not, but I am, with highlights at 20 past midnight, rounding up all of day 7. And meanwhile, plan your day accordingly. Saturday, 10 o'clock in the morning. Do not miss this. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4-frame advantage over Sean Murphy. It is going to be terrific. Hazel will be back at 10 o'clock in the morning. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Thanks for all your questions. We'll see you for the highlights. Bye for now.
As it comes down to this final pink. And that's it. The World Snooker Champion, 1981, Steve Davis.